Welcome back, traders. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend. Sorry I wasn't here last week during the madness, man. I know I took a vacation. It's crazy, man. I take like 3 days off. The whole market dumps. What can I do, man? I mean, we did put out some USDT dominance videos for you guys. You know, days before this dump happened. Although on my last stream the previous week, I thought that we had made a bottom at 52K and that we were going to rally, which we did. We did rally up to about 57 and kind of rejected that area there. So sorry that wasn't the bottom. I apologize. I was wrong about that, but happens, right, guys? Can't be right 100% of the time. It's impossible. So I do apologize for that. All right, and we are looking at Tether right now. We did get this breakout out of this wedge. That's why Bitcoin did get a nice correction there, and it's possible we do maybe see continued downside if Tether keeps moving up. Right, that's the whole thing here. Got to pay attention to this wedge. Make sure it doesn't make higher highs. So far, it's technically still lower highs than these highs up here, and we can see that we are overbought here and overbought territories here on Tether. Right, we're sitting up here around 66 on the RSI. Well, I don't know why this is in percentages. This is weird. Anyways, yeah, so like we hit about 74 on the RSI on the daily chart here for Tether. We can see we are in this upsloping type of structured channel here. We hit the top. We could see Tether dominance come back down, right? That's where we could see maybe a nice little rally for Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. That's a possibility. It's not confirmed, right? We do see a high and a higher high, but we didn't get a higher high on the price, so technically that is a bearish divergence. However, we did get a 3-day or daily trigger here off the TTM squeeze indicator, which typically is not a good thing to be seeing for the price of crypto, right? So we do need to be aware of that. That is something that we want to pay attention to. We are up here at the top, right? The stochastics look like they are pointed down here on the daily, so that's good. That's a good sign. We're going to go ahead and look at Bitcoin here. Hey, thank you so much, Crypto Soldier. So here's what I got for Bitcoin right now. Now, there's folks out there that believe we've already entered a bear market. I don't think that that's the case just yet. If we start breaking this 40K level, yeah, that argument is definitely on the table. But right now, we are holding above this major support level here on this 42K area. Technically speaking, we have not put a lower low candle body closure in, right? So we have not made a closure below 43K on the weekly chart. And you guys can see we do have this trend line here back here from December, right, from this all-time high breakout. So we got 1, 2, we got a third touch here on the bottom of this trend line. Obviously, this here was a fake breakout, right? So we had this fake breakout of this ascending triangle. We dumped right back into the structure. And right now we're still holding above this trend line. So in my opinion, as long as we don't make candle body closures below 40K on the weekly time scale, I think we're going to hold this uptrend. Okay, that's my personal opinion, guys. Obviously, this is not financial advice. I did take some profits on some altcoins that I had that I was up big on towards the back of the board. So you know, obviously you want to secure some of your profits if you guys do have them, right? Obviously. SAR is short on the daily and the 4-hour right now for both assets. So until we really get a trend reversal here. You know, we are looking for maybe continued downside possibilities. As long as we don't break below 40K, I think we're going to be okay. And we could just chop around here for a bit. We could come even back down to back test this 45K area that we've been talking about. All right, we did get a new weekly candle close here and open. All right, so we're going to see how the price action goes on the open here. And I will say the stock market looks obviously, because the Bitcoin market is also dictated a bit by the stock market. All right. And the stock market is up 0.13% right now. Is about to break previous all-time highs. The weekly chart is looking pretty good and pretty poised for maybe a continuation, right? We made this higher low. And we did trigger a long squeeze here on the weekly. Craziness. So we're about to see what happens here with Tether. It does look like we could get Tether to pull back here. At least come back down to the 3% area, which could catalyze Bitcoin to move up and maybe try to test this, you know, this $56,000, $57,000 area. I will say, if we do reclaim that $57,000 area, that we could see some fireworks to new all-time highs. All right. Right now we're kind of in between the range here, and like I said, we don't want to see Bitcoin make closures below 40K. If we start doing that, we will see 30K and eventually, you know, maybe down to even this $22,000 area if that does happen. Okay, but for right now, I am remaining neutral to bullish area here with this closure above 48,000. All right. We did not make a closure below the 128 simple. We held it, man. We held this. That's very, very critical. All right, we could, like I said, we're going to see this probably come back up to test 53,000. If we get rejected here, you know, we can definitely suspect the price come back down. Like I said, we could end up seeing 45K if we don't break out of this supply line area here. All right, so I do suspect maybe some more sideways price action and or a test of the tops and bottoms of the ranges. Okay, for Bitcoin. We are showing a bit of a 3-day hidden bullish divergence here, right? We have a low and a lower low, and we have a low and a technical higher low on the price here, and I'm referring back to this low here back from September. Okay, this low here, we made a lower low negative momentum wise, but we're still making higher prices. So there is a hidden bullish divergence there on the 3-day chart. It has not matured yet. Okay. We are down here at the bottom. We're looking like maybe getting a cross up here on the stochastic. And last time we got a stochastic cross up on the 3-day, you guys all know what happened. We went from 40K to 69K, so about a 60 to 65% price appreciation. If we do get that 3-day cross up and we do about a 60% price appreciation, you know, we are looking about a new all-time high for Bitcoin, like $85,000 area. Okay. And thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And if we do get that 3-day cross up, it is possible we see this type of price appreciation. We will be patiently waiting for that. And if we don't get that, well, you guys already know how I feel. If we start making closures below 40K, you know, we do have downside targets here that we did plot. Okay. All right, so I wanted to go through, we went through Tether. We're going to look at ETH real quick. So ETH is interesting because it obviously looks a lot better than Bitcoin right now, I will say. And the daily here on ETH, you can see that we rejected the bearish control zone entirely. We just bounced right off the bottom, 40 RSI every time bounce. Okay, that is very strong. All right, especially when Bitcoin's consolidating or even moving to the downside. Like this, to me, still looks pretty strong, guys. We never actually broke the lows, right? We held on. We barely even basically on this wick back tested this previous Fibonacci area here around 3,300. All right. And if Bitcoin can just consolidate and or trend upwards, then we can see a lot out of ETH here because it's definitely clearly outperforming Bitcoin by a landslide here. And if we can get candle closures above 5K, we're looking at, you know, we're looking up close to $9,000. That's the next fib extension here for Ethereum. All right. That's what we're looking at. If we're looking at more upside, you guys see it. There's nothing up here, man. Just close to 10K. Okay. And if we do get rejection, we're going to come back down to test this area here, 3,300, which we basically wicked down to or close to. Okay. All right, so that's your short-term analysis here. We're gonna go look at the Nupal chart. So Nupal didn't flash any sell signals, man. But the only thing that was interesting to me was we made a higher high on price, but a lower high on the fear and greed. So technically a bearish divergence, right? And we're back down at these levels that we were entering here back in July during this major market correction. So we could be at an area where buyers come in and step in, right? Because the fear and greed index is at 27. We're gonna have to see how this plays out. What planet are you from? What's going on, man? Oh yeah, what planet are you from? Node, planet Node, man. That was really good. So when we were in the city, we went to a comedy show, and we sat right up at the front, and they were like, they were trying to like grill me for all these questions, and I was pretty quick and on the spot with my responses. That was an epic night, man. Absolutely, absolutely. So here we are on the Nupal. We didn't flash any sell signals like we did back here in May for Ethereum. And ETH obviously didn't flash it here either, so we're kind of in the middle of the zone, right? So no real sell signals on the Nupal chart, and the on-chain metrics still remain bullish. Fundamentals haven't changed. Fundamentals still remain bullish. Now we have to see the price action come in to kind of justify that. That's kind of what we're waiting on. I think we'll get a good idea of what happens this week with the price action. All right, so excellent. We're going to look at ETH dominance here for a second. So ETH dominance pulling back a bit after making a major run up. Right, tell me this doesn't look like a major cup pattern, man. Come on. And it looks like a major cup pattern here. Right? Maybe we make this handle here. We didn't do it yet, but maybe we do that. We can actually look at the ETH BTC chart real quick. And yeah, it looks exactly like a cup and handle type of structure. All right. Now we got above this 0.077 fib area here. It wouldn't shock me to see 10% for ETH BTC. That's your next stop. Yes, sir, Canadian CEO. Yes, sir. So, like I said, back to Bitcoin. If we end up holding these areas, we can even come back down to like, 45K, the bottom of this triangle here to test that. That's totally a possibility. If we get rejected up here at 50, 53, 54K, we come back down. Test the bottom of this triangle, bottom of this wedge, and then break out. Okay, that is total possibility scenario we could see. All right. We covered fear and greed. We're going to cover the SAR signals right now here in the Discord channel. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel, and tick the little bell. All right. All right. Looks like the BTC 4-hour just flipped long. That is good news, guys. 4 hours long. The daily still didn't print a long, but usually the daily is obviously behind the hourly and 4-hour. The hourly here on ETH is long. The 4-hour here on ETH hasn't flipped long just yet. This could be a Bitcoin show this week, guys, so pay attention to that. And that is the SAR signals. I'll take your guys' requests if you guys have any. If not, we're going to talk about the VIP results we've been having. All right, in the Profit Gains channel here, you guys can see and go through some of these VIPs. $800 starting account is now $923 in just a couple days, guys. Just a couple days on a strategy here. Todd posting his gains, of course, on his VIP strategy. Look at all these profits daily here, man. 147, 216, 26. Like you guys can see this, man. This is hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars here within days. Within days. In a sideways or down market. That's amazing, guys. Come on. Get some hype for VIP here. Just, you can scroll through this profit gains channel, man. Just see what all the members are doing, how they're earning their income here with STP, how we make sure everyone here is taken care of. That is the goal here we have. And our one of our analysts here, EXE, developed his own little scalping bot, which it's doing extremely well. And hopefully soon we'll be able to deploy that to everybody, so they can everyone can take advantage of this strategy here that EXE's doing for the alert service, so we can get that rolling for you guys. So stay tuned for that. All right. Todd just put out his TV alerts manager, so you can automate your building of alerts for the SAR bots. So that's what we got going on here for you guys. We got some nice updates here for the community, and hopefully we can see some more bullish price action out of this market going into the new year. All right, XRP. So the pattern was breached, but we did still manage to hold above the daily 21. And I thought we were going to come back down to the bottom of this and get a nice spring, but Bitcoin kind of didn't cooperate, right? So we did break a demand line here, and we did get a breakdown briefly here on XRP. And man, this thing wicked down to like 48 cents. That's crazy. Yeah, not the best candle close. Yeah, we'll take a look at Solana too. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, you can see the downsloping RSI here. Sitting bearish territory right now, near 40, near neutral. We are looking like we might get a 3-day cross up, so that's good. Last time we got a 3-day cross up was back here. And we went from about 89 cents to $1.40, so about a 50% price appreciation. But this looks like a complete reset, so we could see a major, maybe we come right back into this pattern, right? We could come right back into it. If the market remains bullish. All right, so that's XRP. Solana, we'll take a look at. So yeah, I mean, this is a massive rising wedge pattern. You guys need to be aware of that. And I did exit a lot of my Solana up here around this 190 area, 185 area. And so not too long, a couple days ago, when we started making closures outside of this trend line. I think SAR is short currently on this asset. All right, on the daily. All right, so be aware. We could see continued price action to the downside here on Solana. This mini rising wedge target is to about $120. We could see that happen. We could see this come down, okay? So that's Solana. Luna, let's take a look at Luna. Yeah, Luna also kind of getting up there, man. It's, you know, it's still technically holding this this consolidation range here. All right, we can see that it's holding this. But as soon as you start breaking it, you could see maybe a big move down, right, to about 20 bucks. If we get continuation there, that would be a perfect back test of this area here. Because like this asset is went extremely parabolic really fast too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so, I mean, technically you're making a higher low up here right now. Going to really kind of depend on what Bitcoin does, if it remains bullish, right? But this looks to me like rising wedge type of stuff here. We could see this come down, back down to, like I said, 20 bucks. That can happen if it can't sustain up here, right? Because that's like straight up type of stuff, right? With lower highs on the RSI, you got massive bearish divergence coming in here, right? You see this, right? High, lower high, but higher highs on price. All right, so be careful in this coin specifically, and obviously also Solana. Just be careful when assets start to look like this, man. It can be dangerous to the downside, right? Remember that. If we start getting bearish price action, these are going to break down hard, all right? Right now it's okay as long as it doesn't start making candle closures below 45. You know, coming down here like this, right? We start making candle bodies outside this trend line, we're going to see this asset probably go down to this major supply line here, okay? Or this demand line there. All right, so AVAX, let's take a look at that. All right, so AVAX in a channel up, which actually looks a bit better than a rising wedge, so that's good. That's a bit more bullish looking than a rising wedge, I would say, okay? So I actually like this a lot better than I like Luna, for example, and Solana, for example, because it is just resting upon this trend line here, and it's respecting it too. So like maybe it just consolidates here before it really breaks up, okay? And that's what you kind of want to see in these types of upslope. I don't like upslope consolidations, but if you do get them and it is consistent, isn't sort of like rising wedge type of stuff, and it's just kind of trending up along the trend line there, that looks really nice. That looks really nice. And you can see that the 3-day is starting to maybe cross back up here on the stochastic. So, you know, a couple days of this type of price action sideways or consolidating up here, that's good. We might see higher prices for this type of asset, okay? Again, all going to depend on what Bitcoin does. Still the market leader of this asset class. And we need Bitcoin to just hold up for a lot of these coins to play back out to the upside, right? SHIB short term, yeah, sure, we can look at SHIB coin. The last I checked this asset, it was in some sort of falling wedge type of thing. And I still see it. I still see it. Maybe even looks like it may be even rounding out here. So that looks interesting, actually. I'm going to go to a line chart to kind of cut out those wicks. Yeah, I mean those are bullish setups there. Okay, 67% chance to break to the upside. We did about a 61.8% retrace. So we're right in the golden mean ratio zone for a reversal for SHIB coin. And SHIB also having some good fundamental news too, right? Some of these bigger companies like AMC and I forget who else is going to be accepting SHIB coin for payment, but that's interesting. How's it going, Felipe? How are you, sir? So technically, we already got an RSI breakout here on SHIB coin on the daily. Cartesi, yeah, we could take a look at it. What's Vark Tech? All right, we're gonna look at CTSI first, then we'll look at TLM. Soldier, we just looked at AVAX. AVAX actually looks okay, right, in that upsloping consolidation pattern that it's in. So Cartesi right along the demand line here right now, and obviously we can clearly see that this made some sort of double top, right? So if this demand line does hold, we have an ascending triangle. If it doesn't, we're looking at some sort of retrace we could get back down here. You know, to the golden pocket probably. 13 to 35 cent areas, but most likely right here, if we get a breakdown, we're going to see 40 cents pretty fast, pretty soon, if we do get a breakdown on this asset. All right. And we'll look at TLM real quick. So TLM actually ended up breaking out here. We actually gave an entry around this around 22. Ran up to about 55, so that was a nice little trade setup. If you're part of the alert service, we did catch that move. But is still kind of hanging on to these lows, right? So we can maybe redraw this a bit. Now that we know that that is a rejection area, and that this is now back into another sort of pattern here, right? Still making higher lows, right, from these lows. So higher low, higher low, higher low. Still technically a higher low. So as long as we continue to make the higher lows, we can assume we could see a test of 34 cents again. All right. All right, sitting basically around neutral here on the weekly, about 48 on the RSI. Stokes are pointed down at the moment. And yeah, we're just waiting. This thing could consolidate up here for a bit. It could even, chop around, maybe even sort of fake out, wick back down to 18. Depends on what Bitcoin does. And we could do something like this where we come back down and then come back up, right? So we're just waiting for a stochastic RSI reset here. The 2-day looks like it's starting to cross back up. We need to see some bullish price action come in here over the course of the next 24 hours into this week as well. All right, guys. That's TLM. We're going to look at one and dot for Mr. Crypto Soldier there. So still in this downsloping channel. Nothing really changed here. We got up to about 35, 36 cents, or even close to 40, and kind of pulled back, right? So still kind of looking at maybe sideways action, or maybe even come back down to test, 12 cents or so. Really depends on how Bitcoin's looking. And, well, we do have some maybe... some divergence building up here. We did get a trigger, though, for what looks to be short side price action here on the 2-day. But again, bouncing here off the daily 128, simple and holding the uptrend, right? Every single time we hold above, we get a nice parabolic move. And we are showing daily RSI bullish divergence, low and higher low on the RSI, but a low and a lower low on price. So that could dictate a move back up for this asset here in the short term. All right, so let's pay attention to some of these Fibonacci levels up here, where we're going to look for about 20 cents, even on up to about 22 cents here in the short term. Next couple days, we could get a test of the top side of this channel, right? And if we don't break out of it with volume here, we could be taking a short position, all right? So be be prepared if you're in this asset, maybe to sell it towards the top of the channel if you're still in the position. That's not financial advice, just typically how these channel downs work. And you only really want to buy out of a channel here when you actually get a breakout and a back test. All right, not on a fake breakout. VAWR.tech. I'm not sure what that is. Is that like a materials ETF or something? Is that what we're looking at? Anyways. All right. What did I miss? I miss anything? You guys want to see anything else tonight? So we did get the 4-hour confirmation here on Bitcoin, right? At the daily open. All right. When Moon. Oh, what's up, D-Sync? How you been, brother? We can look at Cosmos, sure. We'll take a look at it at Soldier, sure. So yeah, I mean, kind of rising wedge stuff, but like not in the area where you look to short. You look to short here on a break of 17 bucks and a back test there to go down, but we're not even close to that yet. So I don't know if I'd be really taking a trade here yet. Kind of just want to see how this market is going. Obviously, we're trending down right now. We could see value, towards this bottom of the range, around $17.50, towards the bottom of this rising wedge area here. And that could be construed as some value, right? Nice, man. That sounds fun. So this could be wedging here, right? It could be maybe wedging here, but we're not. I don't think we're ready just yet for a breakout on this asset. Close, looking like we could see maybe a move. We're obviously sitting 40 on the RSI. Not really getting too much help though, right? We don't have anything clear. No real divergence. Just a downsloping channel for right now here on Cosmos. Did get a daily cross up here though on the stochastic. We are showing maybe some signs of implied price action up. We'll see how this goes. We could test the top of this range here around 2680 if we get a move up. And if we do get a breakout, because Bitcoin breaks out, well, we could go back up to the top of the wedge, which is around 42. If not, we could, in the short term, see a lower high and continue on down to the bottom of the wedge, like I'm thinking towards $17 area before maybe a move out. All right. Again, could happen sooner. Depends on what Bitcoin does if we really get a bullish bias, right? Kind of sitting neutral territory right now, in my opinion, for Bitcoin. Like I said, I want to see Bitcoin get back above 57K, and I also want to see Bitcoin hold above 48, okay? All right. CRO, Sand, and Engine Coin. All right, so CRO did get this break here. You guys can clearly see that. Almost went to that 146 area and did about half of this move, right? We went to about $1.24. I do suspect, Mooner, we looked at Shibcoin already. You can just scroll back in the stream, check it out. So this is actually looking actually interesting. It's just sitting on this Fibonacci level here. Stokes kind of got a reset, and we are maybe looking bullish here, 52 on the RSI. And crossing back up here on the stochastic. Interesting. So yeah, maybe some more consolidation here, or maybe you do get an attempt of break here. All right, maybe you test back up to the top 90 cents. See how that goes. You are in a little wedge pattern there, all right? It is looking pretty good on the daily. Sand. Sand also looking like maybe reversing here. Right, showing a bit of daily hidden bullish divergence there. Right? Implying price action back to the upside. There on the daily. Interesting. Could see a move back up to the top side of the range of the 70-60 area if we do get continuation and Bitcoin doesn't ruin the party. Remember, guys, the technical analysis is good as long as Bitcoin isn't doing something that's going to screw it up, right? Because if Bitcoin just starts to dump, any of this interpretation or TA here can be negated by, hey, Bitcoin just dumped. Okay, we're going to get a big spike of negative momentum and kill this hidden bullish divergence here that's trying to mature, right? So keep that in mind, man, when looking at these types of assets. Just have to have an understanding of what Bitcoin's really doing, right, before really putting your money into these trades, right? If Bitcoin's looking strong, then this is gonna do bullish stuff, not bearish stuff, right? But anyways, right now holding above the 1414, sitting in between the 1414 and the 1618 fib extensions. If we do break up, we're looking at the top side of the range, close to that $8 area here on Sand. If we break down, we're looking to test $4 again. Okay? So that's Sand. We're looking at Engine Coin. Again, also showing some daily hidden bullish divergence here, implying price action back to the upside on this asset. Sitting really low here in a low value, a really low RSI area for maybe a accumulation or something here around 41 on the RSI. You can see the volume kind of tapered off here. We're waiting to see what happens here with this asset. If we do get a push, we are going to see this push obviously back up to the close to these all-time highs as 440 area. Again, we are in a downsloping channel here. We want to break the channel. We want to break the channel and back test this area here as support before seeing maybe double bottom stuff to go higher on the price, all right? ADA, sure, let's take a look at it. ADA, I believe, was in a nice wedge pattern. I will take a look at this for you guys, but I definitely saw something happening on the ADA chart here earlier today. And if not, it's also maybe a potential Gartley setup here on ADA. Forget how I had this drawn originally, but yeah, just came right back down to the trading range here. See. Yeah, so it's kind of like a downsloping channel. here on ADA. And we are in this kind of area right now where we could see this break this mini wedge here, right? Or we could break it, come back up to $1.84 and test the top side of this channel. Because the daily right now is riding down here. It looks like it's trying to round a bottom on the RSI. It is below the 21 EMA, yes. And below the 128 simple. Okay. Well, the weekly is not looking too hot on this asset, but we didn't break the top side of this range. So it's in an area where if we're going to get a cross up, it's going to happen. Like the last time the weekly crossed up on ADA, what happened, man? We saw this back in July go from you know, $1 to $3, almost $4. So if we get a cross up here right now, we're probably looking at going to, you know, maybe, you know, $6. We'll see. Got to get that weekly stochastic cross. Got to see what happens on the smaller time frames here for this asset. You can see the 3-day maybe trying to poke its head and maybe cross back up. The 2-day crossed up, right? So the shorter time scales started to cross up already. So this looks interesting, for sure. Definitely at a value area. Definitely at a value area, right? In a wedge on the 2-day on the RSI. Interesting. Interesting setup. We'll see how this plays out, because wedge patterns typically resolve themselves to the upside, we know, 67% of the time. But we do also know that they can go down if Bitcoin goes down. Like I said, we could see a move back to a lower high area here, about $1.86. See how that plays out. We are still holding the daily. Well, technically, we're not holding the daily 128 anymore. Okay, so we are technically in a downtrend right now on this asset. But we'll see if we can get a pop back above that 128. That is imperative and important for this asset to go back into an uptrend. All right, guys. All right, so how was everybody's weekend? Did you guys have a good time? Let me know what you guys did this weekend. Post in the chat. Casper Labs, this one. This asset's in a downtrend. Desynced, yeah, it actually will trade based off of the hourly and 4-hour signals, so you can set up alerts. Desynced, you can set up alerts to trigger your bots off, your long bots off, and your Nice, Crypto Soldier. Desync, to answer your question, yes, you can trigger your bots to turn off when the hourly goes short for the longs, and you can turn your short bots on and get triggered when this goes short. So right now the hourly is long, so maybe you would be taking long trades on Bitcoin, and for the altcoins you want to use ETH as your gauge, right? So ETH, you could have triggered the longs back on here at 1 a.m. Obviously you have alerts set up for this, right? So you can set up alerts to turn your bots off, turn your bots on, just based off the signals. So you don't have to worry about staying in the trend. This does it for you. It's pretty good. And then of course your overall daily trend is still technically short right now. Ohm, yeah, we can look at Ohm, sure. It's this one, Omanini. Oh. Did not cover uni. We'll take a look at it. Not sure that that's the right token. This is it, I believe. So this thing actually just looks like it's in kind of in a range, right, on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, like, this isn't in an uptrend. I guess it's technically in a downtrend because it hasn't made a higher high versus ETH, right? So you're kind of just in this range. Nothing to really write home about on this one in terms of what it's doing. So yeah, not an uptrend, in a downtrend technically, but making higher lows for now. Got to see produced higher highs, see if this can outperform ETH. All right. I've seen worse charts. This looks okay. Not terrible. We'll look at Uniswap. The Uniswap doesn't really look too good. It looks kind of like a descending triangle, right? This could break further to the downside. We are at 37 on the RSI. Could come all the way down to oversold, right? Nothing really stopping it from doing that unless you get a weekly cross up, which you haven't got just yet. 3-day maybe trying. 2-day definitely pointed down on the 2-day. Daily looks like maybe you got a cross up. So again, conflicting things happening here on the chart. Nothing really giving us an advantage to take a trade on this right now. All right. So could be more sideways price action here. We could maybe get a test back up to 23. But ultimately, if we end up coming back down to test this support for, 1, 2, 3, 4, this would be the 5th test. The more times you test a support, the more likely it is to break it. Just like the more times you test a resistance, the more likely it is to break that. So if we continue to come back down and test these supports, I'm kind of inclined to believe we're going to see lower prices. So don't be shocked if we see, $10 at this asset if Bitcoin starts to break down. Okay, if Bitcoin breaks up, we're going to see this go back up to test the top of this range. If it really starts to fly, well, we could break north out of this type of structure. But typically, descending triangles break to the downside. All right, so just be aware of that. Probabilities say that this could break further down. All right. Look at Wax. All right, so Wax like got right to the 886 fib extension and pulled back and technically made a higher low on the daily here, but tried to rally and failed to rally because Bitcoin kind of stopped it in its tracks. Yeah, let's see how we end up holding up at this support area here at 40 cents. And if we can continue to make higher lows and consolidate up here, then we're going to go back up to test the top side of the range, 95 cents. If not, we're going to come back down and test the bottom here, 34 to 40 cents. 34 to 40 cents, all right. Sushi swap is wrecked. Yeah, we can take a look at sushi. So downslope and consolidations, okay? Kind of looks like a bear flag, right? We could kind of end up coming back down. Maybe eventually break out of it. So you're right at a potential reversal area here, which is the beginning portion of the golden zone for reversals. Okay, we could, if we don't get a reversal here, we're going to come back down to $3.30 and test that. Going to depend on how Bitcoin handles and what Bitcoin does. So we could see you know, maybe a lower high to you know, $9 or something, and then come down, make a lower low. So Matic broke the triangle here, but end up making a technical lower high than this high over here. But candle body wise looks okay. Candle body wise made a higher high and is now back testing this area here. All right, but not looking too strong, man, to be honest. You can see we made a higher high on price, but just ever so slightly a higher high on the RSI here, but technically a lower high than here, right? So kind of some bearish divergence going on here for Matic. Not really liking that. This actually looks kind of bad. This does look like maybe rising wedge stuff here on the RSI. If you guys can see that, right? You see this? This doesn't look too good. Like if this starts to break below, you know, 50, 60 on the RSI, we could get a big breakdown. All right. So this could be something maybe to look for a short up here. Hate to say it, but this looks like a good candidate for a short. Not a long. If we really start to break those levels, right? Because the weekly looks, yeah, I mean the weekly also looks kind of the same. Right, higher high on price, but lower high on the RSI on the weekly. Again, bearish divergence. I mean, I guess technically made a higher high. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be looking to buy this up here. That's for sure. It does look like it's going into a squeeze though on the weekly. I don't like this cross down here on the 4-day, and the 3-day got a cross down. Yeah, all these things are kind of pointing down right now, right? So just be careful with this one. You could see some lower prices here with Matic, right? Covered Solana already, man. I think we're gonna see some more downside on it. right? Big rising wedge. You know, broke the rising wedge and closed below it. We're gonna maybe see continued downside price action on this, down at 160 area here for Solana. And the bottom of the rising wedge here is around 130. We could end up seeing that as a target, swing target, if Bitcoin breaks down. Microsoft, sure. A nice weekly candle closure here for Microsoft, right? Bullish engulfing candle, right? Daily about to be in a potential breakout, right? Nice inverse head and shoulders pattern here, setting up on the daily. Okay, that looks nice. You know, so maybe to about 350 bucks. Could see a move up to that for sure. From bottom to the top of the neckline here is about 4%. Microsoft could see 350 bucks, 360 bucks for Microsoft. Yep, Microsoft looks pretty good. Moderna also looking pretty good with the higher low being put in here over the last couple days. So BitTorrent coming back into the structure here after, you know, coming out of it because Bitcoin crashed. Still in the pattern on BitTorrent here. Still in the pattern. Can't reclaim the pattern, right? So we'll see how this ends up panning out. Sure, we'll look at MicroStrategies as well. Google and Nvidia, yep, we'll take a look at them. So MicroStrategy putting in a lower high here. You know, if I'm not really a big fan of trading triangles because they usually break the downside. But this looks like we might have some daily RSI bullish divergence here. Remember, we have a low and a lower. We have a lower low on price. Well, I guess technically we made around the same low on price, but a higher low on the RSI. So we are respecting the trend line. You guys can see that, right? We are holding above the daily 128 right now here on MicroStrategy. I feel like it's kind of indicative of what the price action is for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin dumps, then MicroStrategy going to dump with it. If Bitcoin pumps, well, MicroStrategy going to pump with it. So kind of at a pivotal spot, right? Pivotal spot. And this looks like maybe you're going to kind of cross down. 6 hour looks like it might have already crossed down. Yeah, we got to cross down here on the 6 hour. Yeah, I guess we're going to see how this opens tomorrow, right? This looks interesting. You're at a pretty pivotal spot. If you end up breaking this, you're going to see price action downside here. You know, looking at 420, right bottom of the triangle. And if you go up, well, you guys know we're going to go up to the top of the triangle, right? You know, first move up to 800, test that. It's the other direction, right? Google and Nvidia. Let's take a look at it. Kind of looks a lot like a rising wedge. But you don't want to short rising wedges until they start breaking the bottom of the demand line, right? The bottom trend line. So no short, not shorting this right now. Obviously, this is not a short opportunity just yet, unless we can confirm another lower high. If we confirm another lower high here, sure, you can short this to the bottom of the trend line, right? And then once you start breaking the trend line and you back test it as resistance, then you can open up another short, and then you can short it down to the bottom of the pattern. So this does maybe look like you are rounding a top, but we're gonna have to see how this opens tomorrow, right? Sure, PM, no problem, man. Absolutely. But so yeah, Google is bullish here on the what is this? This is the 6 hour, so basically the daily. We're sitting around 59. Okay, so that looks okay. You are sitting in bullish territory right now for Google, but you are getting close to a resolution area for the RSI, right? So we want to see, if we do want to see upside, we are going to see Google kind of push to the $3,000 level. I would suspect that it maybe at least touches it, maybe even breaks it, makes a new all-time high, kind of like what Apple did, right? Apple is obviously leading tech right now, and Apple actually broke out of a rising wedge. Okay, so this is something you don't see very often happen, and if you do see it happen, we last about 2 weeks, right? So we broke out here December 6th. We've been at it for about a week. I do suspect, man, maybe another week of Apple's price action, and we're gonna see something like this where we come back down into the wedge, man. Hate to say it, but these rising wedge breakouts don't last very long, especially according to Bukowski. We're looking at about 2 weeks after they break to the upside. All right. Not trying to call a top on Apple, and obviously no one really is, but that's something that we need to be aware of and potentially could see. Okay. So Google could be doing the same type of thing, where it breaks north out of the rising wedge there and makes new all-time highs, kind of following what Apple did. All right. Hopefully that answers your question, man, and we'll look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA getting to the 200% retrace and pulling back. We could easily see something like this happen where NVIDIA comes back to test some crazy targets that you guys don't want to hear about. But this can totally happen. This was a rising wedge break also. Remember this. This was a rising wedge breakout. Right? We broke out of it. We're now going to probably, we're in no man's land up here, man. There's nothing up here. We're literally straight up. Okay, we could easily come back down to test this $225 area, and like I said, 2 weeks after usually you break out, you just dump right back into the structure. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. NVIDIA could come straight down here. This could get really ugly. 3 domes and peak house pattern of Bitcoin. Lots of conflicting opinions out there for sure. Yeah. I've seen the Kevin Svensson video where he talked about the 3 domes. Could very well be a pattern to look at. But I like to keep it more simple than that because it may be a little too complex to look at, right? So I'm just looking at maybe in a triangle here, right? Right, 1, 2. We got 3 touches on the bottom. And we're maybe going for that actual confirmation touch around 45K is what I'm looking to see maybe on Bitcoin here, and we could get that. And it looks like we're gonna maybe do that right now. We're like rejecting the 128 again here on the hourly, and the daily is holding above the 128, which is good. But we could just, you know, bear flag this out, man. I mean, like, this isn't bullish just yet, right? Like I said, I want to see Bitcoin back above 57K, then I start getting bullish. Right now, it's just down. It's just chopping around here, not really too much price action. Making lower lows, right? We didn't break this low, so that's good. But like I said, I'm not really taking any trades right here. I'm just waiting to see how this plays out. And if we do end up holding these lows up here around, you know, 45K, you could maybe look to maybe take a long down there and play this wedge, right? So that's what I'm kind of waiting on to see how this plays out. Hey, Francisco, thank you so much. Appreciate the birthday wishes, man. Thank you so much. And all right, well, I mean, that pretty much wraps it up for tonight. I'd like to see Bitcoin hold, like I said, above 45K. If we start breaking $40,000 levels, we got trouble. I would say we've then entered into bear market territory below 40K. All right. So right now we're technically still in bull market. We're holding above those lows, but it's not looking too good, right? We need to see some positive price action out of Bitcoin here this week, and we'd like to see Bitcoin get back above 57K. That is the number to look for. Okay. All right, guys, if you have anything else, please post it in the chat here. If not, well, it's been a wonderful stream with you guys, and hopefully you guys join the Discord. Make sure you guys smash up the like button if you guys like the content here, and subscribe to the channel, right? Hit the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and get all the updates here at Swing Trade Pros. What's my opinion on the Bulkowski 3 domes? Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that, man. I mean, that's someone else's interpretation, and they could be right with that. I'm seeing what's being presented here. And to me, this looks like kind of, like I said, like an ascending triangle with a fake breakout up here, and we could come back down to the bottom of the triangle, which would be a technical high or low, and that would be like around 45K. All right, so we could see that be tested. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys joining. Hopefully, this is informative for you guys. I'm not a magician here. I just look at charts, and if we start breaking this 128 simple, I would definitely say we're going to see more downside. All right, that is this 128 simple around this $47,000 area is pretty critical for the bulls to hold. All right, so if we don't hold that, we're going to probably see further price action down, unfortunately. And of course, if we really do break this triangle and we come down and we back test it as resistance, we could see a very big cascade to the downside. All right. So definitely pay attention to what's going on here over the next couple of days, couple of weeks. That is going to dictate what happens here in the coming months, all right? And if we do break this triangle to the downside, you guys already know, I'm looking at a target close to 19,000 or even close to 15,000, the 886 fib extension. But we've never done this in the history of Bitcoin, where we, in the middle of a cycle, decide to break the trend. So pay attention closely. I don't think this is over just yet. We're going to see how the price action dictates. And if it is over, well, make sure you guys do take profits, and make sure you guys do your due diligence as well, right? We're in this market for a reason, and it is obviously to profit from it. So if you can lock up some profits on a next bounce or something, make sure you guys do that. This is not financial advice. Obviously, always trade as cautiously and carefully as you can. We try to guide you as much as we can, guys. All right. Thank you guys so much. And we'll catch you guys in the next stream. All right.